And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Hi, it's John from Under the Table Hot Sauce. I'm here with my friend, the star of the show, Jimmy Farrow.
Yeah, what's up, JB?
Nah, nothing.
It's been a hot summer, and for all your barbecue needs, you can go to underthetablehotsauce.com. 13 unique flavors to choose from, created and bottled in a Long Island kitchen. Underthetablehotsauce.com. Let's go chow, JB.
Let's do it.
All the flavor, twice the burn.
AEW, what would you do to help Tony Khan?
I think, gosh, this is going to sound mean, but maybe trim the fat a little bit. But now they have a second show, so actually that probably wouldn't do that. But originally, it's just so many guys that are not moving the needle, and kind of bring the people that you really think could be in your mid card, that could go to upper mid card and then go to the main event, kind of like how WWE would do with like Edge. You put him in a tag team and then turn him singles, and he moves up the card, and then make him a main eventer.
Sure.
And try to really look at certain guys and really focus on them. And again, it's easier said than done, but you got to try. And I don't see that kind of focus. They have Orange Cassidy on wrestling every week, pretty much on Dynamite. I don't know if he's that guy. I wouldn't think so, but he is really over. But doing that with other wrestlers, because they haven't made a real star in a while, like a top main event level star.
Now, growing up on the East Coast, and we've always been fans of Vince Sr. and then into Vince Jr., is it our age? Why do we seem to hate AEW so much? And more importantly, Raj, are we being the wrestling fan you hate?
No. I mean, people like what they like. I do think, and you have it the other way. You have people that hate WWE with a passion.
Of course.
And trust me, when I'm critical of WWE, I will get some hate on Twitter. But when I'm critical of AEW, it's 5 times worse. And it's just like the littlest thing you say. You could say you don't like Cody's jacket looks weird, when he was in AEW. And then people are like, you're a clown. You get out of here.
You jerk. Yep.
I think the reason a lot of old WWE fans don't hate AEW is it's just so different from what they were brought up with. And I think, WWE was brought up on the stories and the characters. And you're still seeing that today. Like WWE at their best recently, the Sami Zayn storyline with the Bloodline, Roman Reigns.
Great.
And whereas AEW is more on, doing the moves and kicking out at 2 and the stories are not near as strong. They do have them here and there. They had it with Kenny Omega and Hangman. They do have them here and there, MJF and CM Punk, but up and down the card, you don't see it that much. Whereas on WWE, you still see that storytelling and less reliant on moves.
Raj, you're very popular. You're definitely an influence in the industry. But how do you handle the keyboard warriors, like you said? Do you sometimes have trouble going to bed, reading some of the comments, and do you wake up your wife and go, Tom Thumb number 2 said that I suck.
Tom Thumb number 2.
I mean, how do you deal with it?
Is that the guy who got rid of Brody? Tom Thumb number 2? What do you do? Where does that come from? Does this want you?
Yeah, there are some nights where if I've had some scotch, I'm ready to fight back. Bring it on.
That's it, huh?
And
okay.
Yeah, and then other nights it's just like some guy with 5 followers, really just constantly sending me messages, and it's like I don't even want to block that person because then that person will know I took a second out of my life to acknowledge him.
Right.
So you normally just ignore them, but at times I let them have it.
Good. I would too.
Well, let me ask you this.
I just stay
Give
away
me
from it.
give me an example where you let someone have it.
Ooh.
No, geez.
On scotch. I want it on scotch.
on scotch,
The
yes.
example. It's got to be on scotch.
Just a couple months ago, there was Vikingo was coming in, and
Okay.
they didn't advertise it on Dynamite, and then the next day on Twitter, they're saying, "Hey, this is a dream match that's going to be on next week's Dynamite." And I'm like, "Look, there's a good chunk of your audience that doesn't know who this is.
Correct.
Why not build this match up for a couple weeks? Do some video packages." So, granted, a lot of your fans do know, but so at least the people that don't know, if you think this is a dream match, if you're billing this as a dream match, at least let people on your own show know that it's coming on the next show because it was never advertised on the previous Dynamite. And that thing it was both ways. Tons of people agreeing with me, tons of wrestlers like Dutch Mantel and all these guys. And then you had the other side and, just tons of hate. And the next day we went to Disney World and at the airport, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. And I opened my Twitter. I was like, oh my gosh. And I had some drinks on the plane, had nothing else to do. So I went to town.
Well, the important thing is Dutch Mantel said you did a good job because
Mantel's
Dutch
got
knows
it.
about
Yeah.
everything. Dutch has just cured cancer
But
yesterday, so we're good to go.
He's like savoir faire. He's everywhere. He really is.
Yeah, but I was hearing from guys in the AEW that were DMing me and be like, "Oh, well, we just found out," and all this stuff, and it's like,
But
Did
yeah.
you write? Did you write the guy from AEW? Go, who are you?
No, I like the guys in AEW. I like the guys in WWE. They're all really nice. That's what's different from like the back in the '80s. A lot of the wrestlers, didn't weren't as nice as they are today,
Different
but they
time
were
period.
larger than life superstars back then too. So.
Raj, has a wrestler ever reached out to you and said, "Hey, man, can you write something about me? Get me some action on the internet?"
Oh, all the time, but I don't do it. You always get wrestlers that are, or they're trying to like push an agenda against somebody else, being like, "Oh, this guy, nobody likes him. He's drawing heat," and you gotta, you always get guys trying to manipulate, the news guys, and that I never go for that. You'll never see any of the stories I've broken being like someone's hated backstage or things like that, just because usually there's an agenda behind it.
Well, the fact that you're on our
Or
show
very
proves that,
often.
proves that you don't listen to other people because I'm sure you've had about 48 calls about us. So,
Do you? Now you lost my train of thought with
I
that
didn't
question.
do anything. That's up to
I
you.
really
You
had a
stay
good
on your
question
own
for him.
train.
Thoughts on CM Punk?
Ah.
What are your thoughts on CM Punk?
Well, in the perfect world, I think him and AEW working together is best for business. But he made, I thought, his behavior at the press conference, that was worthy of an apology because he made Tony Khan look foolish just sitting there. Taking it in, and then with the fight, we don't know what happened. Maybe they did kick the door in, and his dog got hurt. I know if my dog got hurt, I'd be pissed.
Ooh.
So, and now with what happened this week, where they were set to announce this new show that basically revolves around him, and they're splitting the rosters. They're going to have the Omega Elite side on one, the Punk side on the other. And then when at the last minute it falls apart and it's supposed to be a huge week for AEW, it just feels like it's snake bit. But by not bringing in Punk, I don't know what you do because all of a sudden Collision kind of turns into another Rampage because it's your current stars and you're just diluting it by separating them. Because they have a huge roster, but they don't have that many top guys, and you split those top guys up, and it's going to be tough. And then if you don't split the rosters, then what happens? You got one show that's going to do better ratings on Wednesday, one show that's on Saturday nights that's going to be up against WWE pay-per-views and UFC pay-per-views constantly, and then college football, in the fall, and NBA in the spring. So ultimately, Dynamite will become the show that's getting preference because it gets way better ratings than the Saturday night show, and then you got another Rampage. So it's a big mess, and but at the same time, Punk keeps causing him headaches, and at some point, it's like, fool me once, right?
I feel like Punk has gotten more attention for them, even with his BS. It seems like even with his BS, when that whole thing happened with the press conference, I feel like that got more attention than almost anything they've ever done as a company. Is that wrong?
Oh, it did, for sure.
Right.
No, I agree. Outside of maybe them signing Punk, yeah,
Right.
I agree.
And Rampage to
Punk
me
has
feels like Thursday Night Thunder from WC Night. Look, if you
Yeah.
don't got the mothership down and you start doing what they're doing, eventually these other shows are just going to fall by the wayside. You're going to be lucky to still have your mothership.
Yeah, and so far Dynamite's done well. They've fallen a lot year over year compared to what WWE has done. WWE is up big year over year with Raw and SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
Dynamite's down double digits in both total viewers and 18.49. Some weeks it's 20, 30%. Adding on more TV, every show they've added on has not done well.
Right.
Battle of the Belts, people forget about that. Rampage hasn't been doing well. Dark and Elevation are gone already. Access hasn't been doing well, and it follows Dynamite. So if they don't have this show based around Punk, and so it gives it its own feel and its own personality, I just don't see how it works. And hopefully I'm wrong, because obviously it's best for them that it does.
Trinity